What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all doing great. Today, I want to share with you all the team that I built to finish out the Through Fire and Flames badge. So we had to defeat Tainted Fyro on stage 10 specifically in under 25 turns. Now, there's two versions of this team. There's the version to get the badge, and there's version to actually do this consistently with a very high success rate. So I want to share this with you all. I apologize for not having this video out sooner. My plans were to have it out before the Fireknight tournament finished, but we had a lot of family over for our baby shower or sprinkle for my wife, a bunch of women over here. I left, took the boys to the park. We had more fun probably, but my wife was 31 weeks last Friday. So this Friday, she's gonna be 32 weeks. And just for some comparison, she had our firstborn, at 35 weeks, I believe. And the second one at 36, or maybe it was 34 and 35. I just went blank completely. But basically, time's ticking. We got maybe 5 weeks left until the little girl is here, which I'm super excited for, but things are getting a little bit hectic recently. So this team right here, this version is going to be the very consistent, relatively safe version. All the difference is the presets. So I'm going to show you the presets for the safe version. This is the one that I recommend you use majority of the time. So round 1 on Gwendolyn, we have round 1, Kymar 2, 3. We have Padrig, round 1, round 2, round 3. Martyr, round 1, round 2, round 3. And then we have Newt, round 1, round 2, round 3. Now, when you look at these stats, pay attention to these and try to remember them, because I probably won't show the area-specific bonuses once we get into showing the champion gear. It just makes things a little bit too cluttered and clustered. There's no reason to actually do that. But the presets are very important. The speeds, you'll see, they're very low, honestly. For my Gwendolyn, I'm still trying to figure out what blessing is the best thing to have for her. I've tried Soul Reap, I've tried Phantom Touch, I tried Cruelty. Cruelty works some, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work. I don't know. It's just kind of like a weird situation. Sometimes it does great, sometimes not so well. But this run right here is going to average around a minute and 10 seconds or so, but it's going to have very few fail conditions. I ran 30, 40, 50 runs just a few days ago. It worked fine. I've ran this team for a long time. I did a video a long time ago on this team as well, but the presets, just the small tweaks you need to make will fix everything. So right here, we have Padrig starting off with the cleanse. Now, in the other version of this, that's not what he starts with. He starts with the ally attack. Newt opens with the A1, but in the faster version, that's not what happens. So now we go in for the ally attack. We get the turn meter decreased from almost full down to basically nothing. We have Newt going in for the triple hitter A3, and then Kymar is going to reset. So this is the version that you'll want to use if you want a safe, consistent run. It's most likely never going to go below 25 turns. That's okay. If you're just running it normally, this is the team to use. But say you have this team running fine for you. You just want to come in here and get which he had plenty of damage there. But now you want to cut off those 11 turns. This is what you're going to do. You're going to come in here. The presets I just showed you, these are going to be the updated ones. Kymar, we want him to open with the A3. The speed's very important here. Padrig is faster than the boss. No, actually, he's not. He's very close to speed on the boss. He's 245. The only person faster than the boss is Martyr, 255. Everybody else is well below the boss's speed, basically. So Padrig, instead of opening with his cleanse, we're actually going to have him just prioritize the ally attack. Never use the ally attack before that. So he's prioritizing the ally attack. Martyr is still doing the exact same thing. And Newt is opening with the A3. So just using the A3. So now we have Kymar opening with the reset, Padrig opening with the A2 and only using this, and then Newt only using the A3. Now, if you're doing this build, you'll also notice something on my team, a buff that isn't usually there, and that's Padrig and immunity. The reason why you need this is because if you don't have the immunity set on Padrig, whether it's feral, immunity, untouchable, whatever it is, doesn't matter. You just need a block debuffs. Don't bring resistance necessarily because it's going to bring more RNG to the fight. So what you want is Padrig in a block debuff set. And now, whenever this Fireknight does the decreased speed and the decreased defense, Padrig is not going to be affected by that. These champions have very low speeds anyways, so if he's getting affected by the decreased speed, it's just going to make things much, much worse. Now, with this fight, there is situations where I'm very close to killing him, but I don't actually finish him off. So if you had a 6-star blessing or an even higher blessing on some of these champions, getting a high Soul Reap, getting some extra defense ignore, whether it's from Cruelty, whatever it may be, could help you out quite a bit. Like this run right here may not work perfect, The way the speed tune's going though, Martyr does place the decreased defense just before ever I does this ally attack here, which gives me some decent room for some HP to be dropped there. And now Newt is going to be super close, but not quite. The Soul Reap is not going to go off, and the run ends up failing. So that was 25 turns there. Like I said, this is not the consistent version, but if we go ahead and replay it, let's see if it happens here. So with the Newt, since he's capped from the enemy max HP cap in all these hard mode dungeons, you're going to have to make sure that, well, he has really good damage, hit the cap consistently, but you also want to make sure that he is built for damage in the sense of, we want the A2 if he uses that, which in this situation he won't, but you want the A1 to actually hit pretty hard. I've adjusted some of these champions so that during ally attacks, Martyr is close to the end, but I really want Newt to be the last one. I want to make sure the turn meter decrease happens, but I also really want decreased defense. I tried moving Martyr to the front and having Gwendolyn in her spot so that Gwendolyn could have the triple hit on the A1, actually do something to the boss, but I didn't get decreased defense up as much, so it ended up just not working out. Now here, we probably have a decreased defense placed, fantastic. Newt takes advantage of that because it was placed before Newt did his damage, and now we're lower on the bar. So I guess if Martyr misses that decreased defense, initially, it could make you in a tighter spot. Here, we should probably be okay. So Gwendolyn does her hit, Newt comes in, boom, boom, boom. We're at 24. We have Soul Reap, sliced it. So this version of the team is pretty specific. Like my best turns were 20. This run can definitely fail. Like you just literally saw in the last one. It's not safe. But what it is it's giving you access to the badge, which is all I really care about here. So then to make it safe and consistent, I just switch it over. In that situation, it very, very rarely fails. I don't think I've actually seen a situation where it does fail. It's a very simple switch. So we go to Kymar, have him open there, Padrig open here, and then Newt open there. Very, very simple stuff. But as far as the speeds in this team, this is the thing I love about it. They're very low speeds. So Martyr is in bolster. We have good HP because we make sure that slam doesn't actually kill us. So Martyr's in good HP. I already showed the stats. You can see the stats here as well. And then the skills, everything's fully booked. Make sure you have faultless defense on Martyr because she places the increased defense. And then it will reflect all that damage back to the Fireknight as hits. So lowering that shield even more. Very, very important. Masters, we have War Master. War Master, Giant Slayer. You want that. Add some extra damage on all these champions. Gwendolyn, we have Giant Slayer. She's very slow. It's okay. She doesn't need to be very fast. What's going to happen is when she does she only hits one time on each wave. So when we get to the boss, she does the counterattack. That counts as a turn. So she's getting an extra turn like counterattack anyways, which boosts her turn meter essentially to 100%. So she could be 100 speed and still be okay. Well, maybe not 100. That might be too low, but she can be very slow. So for the masteries, we have Giant Slayer, and then Newt also in Giant Slayer. He is also slower than the Fireknight. Now, if you don't have crazy Fireknight bonuses, well, I'd say mine are pretty good, plus 14 speed. You'll have to get the Newt to a higher speed to begin with, which is okay. And he's 245 total. Honestly, I'd rather mine be faster, but since I have these speeds, these bonuses already done, I can't make him any faster than that. And then with his masters, you saw him, his blessing, I think Soul Reap's fantastic. It gives me that little extra push that I need, but if I could have a little bit higher tier, it'd be awesome. Granted, this would still leave 4% HP, but assuming Kymar lands his poisons, then we'll probably be fine, right? Because he'll probably land 1, maybe 2 poisons. So a higher Soul Reap would make this more consistent. 5-star either on Newt or on somebody else who hits around the same time as Newt does. That makes sense. So the Masters, you already saw that. Kymar is here. He is in Cruel plus Instinct. We want him to do damage if he can. He can do okay damage. He's not like crazy built or anything. We have Phantom Touch, so it helps out for sure, but he's not needed to be super crazy. Now, we have Blood Shield on him. If I use him in a seer team, that works out good, but if not, not a big deal. And then Padrig. He's in immunity, which is super important because that Fireknight plays in the decreased speed. We don't want the decreased speed on anybody. So definitely get him in immunity or something similar. Immunity, Untouchable, Feral, they'll all do the same thing, but definitely put him into that. Make sure he is slower than the Fireknight. The Fireknight, I believe, is 250, I believe, on stage 10. So just get him around 249 or below. You're going to be good. Also, if you have any champion in Whirlwind of Death, make sure it's not messing up your speed tune. That did happen to me, and it's better just to go ahead and fix it yourself, take it off, versus trying to do the runs and adjust it based on the Whirlwind of Death stuff. It's usually just not worth it. So this run worked out very safe. Well, the fixed version of it It's very safe, very consistent. If you're using this team before and you want to pick up this badge, then just go ahead and swap it over. But if you don't care about the badges, then just keep the team where it is, and you have a fantastic Fireknight Stage 10 hard team with relatively low speeds. Also, make sure you have good accuracy on your champions. I have Gwendolyn in the lead aura, so we get plus 60 accuracy, but you still want to have about 330-ish accuracy on your champions before that. So we're good. We're in a good spot. Everything's getting placed like I need it to, and it's no problem whatsoever. I could maybe get Phantom. I would probably get Phantom Touch on Patrick, if anything. That's probably the only thing that's going to really make a big difference. Gwendolyn with Cruelty seems to be very solid as well. So we'll do one more run with the 100% safe version of this, or let's just say not necessarily 100%, but very, very safe. I don't think I've seen a version where this fails, honestly, or a time where this fails. I'm sure it probably does, but I definitely feel confident in sharing this one with you all. This would be a good run. This would be a good team for you always. And it's a counterattack team. Most teams that are doing it this fast are going to be double ally attack teams, where you have much faster champions, and it's much more difficult to actually do. Now, the good thing about this is once we get Thor, he can just slot in for Gwendolyn, I believe. I'm going to try to build some teams around Thor specifically once we get it. But if you want to do it before I even share it, then slot Thor in for Gwendolyn. He may even be able to be built at a much faster speed, because if he goes very first on the waves or just right after Patrick even, it's going to be fantastic. You could very well do that. Just give the increased attack to him, possibly. He may not even need it, honestly. Depending on how well built you can get him, it may be fine. So throw him in there in place of Gwendolyn. Be in a pretty good spot, honestly. Because he's bringing the decreased speed, and so is Gwendolyn. Very similar kit in those ways, like the decreased speed, good damage, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, this run, look how much, like we almost kill a Fireknight there. Actually might kill it, honestly. Well, Nuke comes in with that triple hitter, and it's well defeated. Like, we have so much excess, it's crazy. 28 turns. This is a fantastic team, honestly. Fantastic team, not super high gear requirements. And then once you get Thor, easy slot in. Granted, if you get Thor, you will have to adjust your champion's accuracy a little bit, since Thor does not bring an accuracy aura. He brings an attack aura, which is awesome, but it may have to change up a little bit of things. But this decreased speed, very good stuff. He also brings 2 AoE skills as well. So, hey, good champion. Try it out. Go ahead and give it a shot if you get him soon. Give him a shot and see how it actually works out. So, guys, thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all. I'll do a video on Thor in this team in place of Gwendolyn as soon as possible. But if you want to try it out before me, go ahead and do it, guys. Best of luck. Thank you all, and I'll catch you in the next one.